Hey everyone, welcome back, JavaMentor.net here. Today let's learn about programming towards interfaces and also let's learn about dependency injection. You remember we created validator last time and this book reader is using that validator for some validating inside. Now this validator accepts only recent books, but let's say that we need to deploy our software to China as well, but there are different rules in China regarding what is a valid book. So I created one Chinese validator here. So they're traditionalists, and that's the reason why they're accepting even slightly older books. But also, since they live in communism, we don't want to show them very expensive books. So only books that are cheaper than $500. Okay, now you will notice that our standard validator for the rest of the world has the same signature of the method as our Chinese validator. So specification is the same. We are sending the book and we want this validate method to test that book and to tell us if that book is valid or not. And the return value is Boolean, right? But how that will be done, implementation is different. And we said that interfaces are good for specification. So let's extract this to the interface. First of all, I renamed our old validator to standard validator. And now I will create a new interface called validator. And I'll choose interface here. And I will paste this validate specification of this method here. And now our Chinese validator is implementing a validator, right? And the same is true for our standard validator. Okay, that's fine. The last problem is that this book validator, now it contains standard validator here. This is the old code, how it worked before. But now we need to do some changes so this book reader in some circumstances work with standard validator and in some circumstances works with Chinese validator. How to do that? Well, first of all, let's add one field called validator, right? So this will hold the reference to the validator, and that reference will be passed through the constructor, right? So whoever creates this book reader, it will pass us through the constructor whatever validator he likes. Something that extends validator, right? Awesome. And now we'll need to delete this. Here we will use our field validator. Okay, so everything is fine now. And now there is one related problem. If we click, it will tell us, hey, can you pass me some validator here? And now we are passing either Chinese validator or standard validator, whatever we love, whatever we like. Okay, so this book reader will apply standard rules, standard validation. And this another reader will apply Chinese validation. So Chinese reader. And that's it. Now we can use this class both with standard validator and with Chinese validator. And this is actually what dependency injection is. This book reader depends on validator. It cannot do its job without the validator. So validator is dependency for book reader, and we are injecting that dependency through the constructor. So book reader, it's not responsible for initiating its own dependency. You should never say validator equals something inside book reader. Client of this book reader should create this dependency and pass that dependency through the constructor. And now we created flexible code. And also here inside book reader you see polymorphism, right? So you don't know which rules will be applied here if you only look in the book reader. You need to take a look at the client of this code to be able to realize which validate method will be called. So we learned about dependency injection. That's one of the principles of the solid principles. So S is for single responsibility principle, D is for dependency injection, and in the next video let's learn about three-layer architecture. That's a very common pattern that is applied into enterprise, especially web applications. So let's learn about that in the next video. See you there.